Welcome everybody to season 19 of the MRC GT This is the Elite League, and this is Race 1 at Catalunya. In pole we've got Ivan. In second we have Phil with Team Texaco. In third we have the Crow in the white and green liveried Ferrari. We then have in fourth we've got Bruce. In fifth we've got Surfer Ev. Well, we up to hopefully sixth place. We've got Raffo. Then we've got P1 Rob. We've got Mark Schumacher. And then behind Mark we've got Wilson. Then we've got myself, B Rated. And behind me we've got RCMBE2. We've got Valtteri. And then we have P1 Rick bringing up the rear. So qualifying on this was 15 minutes. We're at Catalunya. Fuel is on, and also tyre usage. So with this, what becomes apparent during this race is how important a good strategy is. So we'll have a look at that as the race unfolds. We're just about to go lights out here at Catalunya. Just to let you know, we deleted the final chicane, so we've just now got two fast right-handers. Okay, just switching now. Let's get ready for lights out. So everybody in the Ferrari F430, lights are out. So good start for Ibwin, Phil, straight across, Crow. We've got Brucey. Let's see if there's any change there. So bit of movement kind of in the midfield. So we've got Raffo kind of alongside P1 Rob. But yeah, pretty clean through there. I think everybody managed to stay on track here. We've got a little nudge coming up, which we'll have a look at. So we've got Ivan in first, Phil in second, all very close. Obviously start of the race. Track conditions are perfect, nice and sunny and warm. So Ivan round kind of turn 4, I'd class that as on this track. Oh, we've got Brucey up the inside of the Crow, so that's a move for position. And then we just see Raffo collect Surfer Ev, which puts the two of them kind of now to the back of the field. However, it's early days, it's a long race, 30 minutes to go. So yeah, everybody kind of in front, because Surfer and Raffo did qualify pretty well. So Raffo did the right thing, just waiting for him to regain his position on track. And off they go again. So let's have a look. So some battles at the back. We've got P1 Rick, RCMB2 and Wilson. So 9, 10 and 11 having a good battle. I haven't really moved anywhere, I'm still in 8th, but I've got Valtteri who's overtaken me at the start. So P1 Rob in 6th, Mark in 5th place there. We've got the Crow in 4th, Brucey, obviously that was a positional move on lap 1, so he's up in the pink unicorn. And then in front of those two we've got obviously Phil, the other Phil. I think I'm the original, I might be older. And Ibwin. So but the Crow putting Brucey under a lot of pressure here, moves to the inside. Is he going to get this done into turn 1? Yes, he is. There we go, 3rd. But will Bruce fight this? He kind of gives him the position. I guess there wasn't too much battling going on there, but he's not letting him have it easy. He's going this horrible, long, tyre destroying right-hander at Catalunya. But yeah, that move's been done by the Crow. So Rob has moved up a position there. So he's moved back to his 3rd place that he qualified in. But yeah, good battle there. Behind that though, Bruce now coming under pressure from Mark. Behind that we've got P1 Rob in front of who have we got behind? Is it Valtteri? It could well be. Yes, it is. So Valtteri obviously in 7th, and then you've got me behind in 8th. Oh, big slide from Valtteri there. Well held. These Ferraris, when they go sideways, they like to go quickly, but well held. It has put me now right onto the back of Valtteri, although not as close as I'd like. So very early days in this race, so remember it's 30 minutes long. This is my most hated corner on this track, which is the hairpin, kind of down a hill, almost off camber. Then you've got the big climb out of it again. When you're driving it, it doesn't look like there's much change, but there certainly is. It did look behind, like these two, yeah, RCMB and Wilson having a good battle. So RCMB 2 into 2nd, got Wilson in 10th, we've got Rick in 11th, and then we've got Surfer Ev recovering in 12th, and then Raffo catching back up in 13th. So both did really quick qualifying time, so I'd imagine they won't be far away. Ibwin in qualifying was in the 146s, so really fast time. So just looking at the middle of the field here, as always with Catalunya, it's a bit of a difficult track to really race very closely on. There's so many high speed straights leading into quite medium speed corners, so it is quite difficult to follow closely and always get that move done. But as we'll see later in the race, it's certainly not impossible to overtake here at Catalunya. Most of them are done on the straight into turn 1 though, let's be fair. So just looking back through the field here, all very close. Surfer Ev has got back up to Wilson there, and Raffo not far behind either. Just moving to the front, so we've got Ibwin. He's got a bit of a gap over Phil, so he's managed to pull away a little bit. He's certainly pushing on as well, but Phil, the Crow, you've got Bruce, everybody really on that midfield part. That horrible hairpin. Here we go up the field and up the hill. Right-hander, long right-hander again. Those left-hand tyres take an absolute beating on that particular corner, and these next two as well. These two right. It's basically several right turns with one left turn, I think, Catalunya. But obviously F1 teams all do their testing here for the start of the season. Well, actually, that's a lie, isn't it? But they used to. Anyway, back across the start-finish straight. Things are settling down a little bit. But Valtteri, you can see he's definitely catching on to P1 Rob, so that'll be interesting. I'll just go on board with Ibwin here. Just highlighting how good Gran Turismo is graphically. Always looks great. So we'll look back from Ibwin's car. We can see Phil there, so I don't know how big the gap is. Unfortunately in the replays it doesn't show you the gaps, but it looks near enough, probably half a second just over, and the same gap back from Phil to the Crow, and then Crow to Brucey. So things starting to spread out a little bit, but you can see there Valtteri is right on the back of P1 Rob, caught him very quickly. Looking back from P1 Rob's car here, obviously the sound of the Ferrari V8 absolutely howling. No sideways movement from Valtteri on this lap, so I should really just call him Valtteri as against Valtteri, but it's just too hard. I'll just keep on going Valtteri. It sounds great, it sounds posh. So again, coming up to this hairpin, big break in at about 100 meters if you're brave. Stamping it down into first gear, up the hill. This corner, third, fourth gear. If you're in third, you're up to fourth here, and this corner's quite, doesn't do it justice, but it's downhill off camber, and again, getting onto the start-finish straight now, you can't hold it flat in these cars. So you've got to come off the power a little bit. So there we go. We've got 6th, 7th, first, second, and third. So still Ibwin, Phil, the Crow. The Crow has caught Phil in front, so we'll see if he starts putting him under some pressure. Behind that we've got Brucey, then Mark. So still early days, less than 10 minutes into this race. So I haven't displayed any data yet. I'm going to bring that up kind of once the pit stops start to happen, so we can enjoy the graphical quality of this beautiful game, and then we'll start having a look at the data a little bit later on, because that's when it comes into play. Yeah, you can see the Crow definitely kind of caught up to Phil. Certainly in the chat, it was a case of if it was going to hurt your pace, people were going to hold station at this stage. This race really kind of comes alive later on. But again, throughout, everybody racing hard, very cleanly. Again, no real off tracks. We haven't seen any penalties so far, but they do crop into this race in the not too distant future. Valtteri obviously putting P1 Rob under some pressure. I'm under some pressure from RC MBE, so don't feel the need to go defensive yet, but he is very, very close through the hairpin, and then again up the hills. So a left-hander, and then we've got this long tyre killer right, and we've got the second last corner coming up. Aim for the cones, off power a little bit, then back on, and then up through fourth gear again for this corner, and then as fast as you can down the straight. So luckily for me, I kind of was able to get a little gap onto the straight, because obviously this is very vulnerable. And just saying that, there goes Valtteri for the pass on P1 Rob. So yeah, Valtteri's got past. Classic overtake at Catalunya, in the slipstream, pull out from the slipstream, out brake into turn 1, or brake as late as you dare. So Valtteri now in that place. Then we've got P1 Rob, then we've got me, then we've got RCMBE 2, behind me Surfer EV, then we've got Wilson, then we've got Raffo, and who will be? I don't know who's. It might be P1 Rick. So I'm not sure what happened to Rick. I'm sorry, I missed that on the replay. So apologies, mate, for missing that. I hope you weren't taken out though. So again, back up front, Ibwin first, Phil second. You know, literally a second between Ibwin and Phil, maybe a little bit more. Just going back through the field. So you can see here I'm under a load of pressure, so go defensive. So I'm going to hold that, and as I'm heading down that left-hand line, I'll brake as late as I dare to get the car turned in, first gear. Just covering the line here. Don't want to lose too many places for... I didn't actually practice for Catalunya. It just kind of happened as I was racing, but because I just felt I wasn't on the pace, the only strategy I could think of was a no-stop one, which is possible. And we'll have a look at that when the pit stops start to happen. Obviously, RCMBE again have kind of got away from him on those last two corners. You've got Surfer Ev though, challenging, so up into 9th place. Great overtake again, classic. Turn 1. Here's turn 1, then we're into turn 2. And we've got this long tyre killer right-hander, turn 3. And you can already see the marbles building up on this track. And we've been going literally 12 and a bit minutes. So tyre wear, I believe, is 3 times tyre wear. So obviously for every lap that we do, it's 3 times. It's as if we've done 3 laps. So Mark, haven't paid him much attention, unfortunately. He had quite a lonely race in the middle of this one. So I've raced against Mark for quite a few years now, but holding 5th place. Obviously in the Clare House sponsored car. Just let everybody know, obviously MRC, which is Mature Racing Club, we do support a lot of charities. We'll put them on the cars. So for a bit of advertising, we'll put it on there, and now and again there'll be collections raised and money donated to a specific chosen charity. But you know, we support that many, and it's very important, and it's a great job that Dennis, who organises this league, makes sure happens, which is brilliant. So again, back up to Ibwin in first, second we've got Phil, then we've got the Crow, then we've got Brucey, so behind him we've got Mark in 5th. Then we've got Valtteri now into 6th, so he's made great progress considering I think he started maybe 10th on the grid, 9th or 10th I think. I've picked up a half-second penalty, which is about to be doubled into a 1-second penalty when I get down to the bottom here. I've got Surfer coming up again. Didn't really find it that necessary at this stage to defend too much. I'm desperately fuel saving, so just to make sure I get enough fuel to the end as well. I'm trying not to push the car too hard in these long corners, so somebody in front close to me is actually a bit of a, not a benefit for the tyres, but certainly a benefit for the fuel. But yeah, There's my 1 second penalty. So RCMBE, who's well within a second, will certainly overtake me, I think, at where the penalty line is. Then we've got Wilson in 11th. Don't know what happened with the cameraman there. 12th, Raffo. So, and then we've got P1 Rick in 13th. So yeah, I didn't know what happened to Rick, but something, because obviously he was running further up than that. So here we go, we're into the midfield. Here comes the penalty line, so you can see there's a little symbol saying slowing down. I pull over to the right hand side just so I stay off the racing line. Means RCMBE can hopefully hold the toe from P1 Rob in front, and I'll lose that position, so down into 10th. So yeah, we're getting close to halfway, so we'll see who actually goes for the pit stops first. They will start happening very, very shortly. So, and as I say, into the pits comes the Crow. So just to really highlight strategy here, let's see how long it takes him to get into the pit box. So there's already 3 seconds. It's a very, very long pit entrance, and it seems like forever. So that's now at well over 11 seconds, 12 seconds. We haven't even put any fuel or tyres on the car yet. So there's 20 seconds. I'm just coming into the pit. So about 23 seconds to get into your pit box. Then you've got the change. Then you've got any fuel that you're taking on board. So a little bit is going in there. So you are looking at a pit stop here of nearly 30 seconds, 33 seconds. So Mark pitted as well. So the Crow trying to go for an undercut here, which, because of the nature of the track and because that pit is so long, it is quite difficult. So we'll see how that plays out. But as you can see at the front now, so we've got Iwan, we've got Phil, got Brucey now in 3rd because the Crow pitted. So we'll see how that all pans out. So I think to avoid the undercut, I'm expecting Iwan, Phil, and maybe even Brucey to come in this lap. So we'll see if they do that. So they're not going to be wanting to run out on old tyres, even though they're lighter with fuel, for a lot longer if they're going to not do a no-stop strategy. So we'll see what happens here. Iwan coming up to second last corner. Yeah, looks like he's coming into the pits. So Iwan's in. I'm pretty much sure Phil followed him in as well. So we'll have a look at that. Yeah, Phil's in. So is Bruce. So top 3 are in. Crow's obviously pitted. So now you're going to see a change in leadership. So I think we're going to see Valtteri in P1. P1 Rob in position 2. And God forbid, I'll be in 3. So B rated in 3rd. So as you can see, fuel-wise, Bruce saved quite a bit. He's got 29 litres left. The other boys all on the same kind of 24 and 25. So they might have to take on a little bit of extra juice. So you can see here, Valtteri has got a half-second penalty. We'll see if he manages to hold on to that position when it comes up to that line. I'm just going to... yeah, sorry for the break in transmission there. Just wanted to go back and add in the actual driving data. So now you can see the rev counter, you can see the fuel, you can see the state of the tyres as well. So just keep an eye on that as the race goes on. It becomes very interesting. So you can see Iwan out in 6th place. The Crow, even though he pitted first, although he is closer to Iwan, they're out in 6th and 7th place. So the Crow with the undercut nearly worked, but obviously it seems like Iwan had the measure of him in there. We've got Brucey now out in 8th. We've got Phil in 9th, P1 Rick 10th, Mark Schumacher in 11th. So they've all pitted. P1 Rick hasn't, but the other boys have. So you can see they're on fresh rubber. So just skipping back up the field just to look at the gaps really. So we've got P1 Rob catching Valtteri. So doing really well. He's not using the full rev range, but he's certainly going now 3/4 on the rev range, and in terms of fuel he's just over 1/4 of a tank. That front left always takes a hammering, but he's not at 50% on that tyre yet, and we are now more than halfway. So he's done really well managing his tyres, managing his fuel. So we'll see what happens, but definitely closing that gap to Valtteri, putting him under some pressure. So we'll see how that. And you can see me about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds behind. So I win with the fastest lap, which is a 1:47.077. I'm not sure if he dips under. I think he does dip under that a little bit later on. So you can see my tyres under 50%, probably about 35%. Had a bit more fuel than P1 Rob. So the rears are fine, not much, and that'll be down to me being an idiot. I'm not changing the brake bias. So I did later on in the race, but so yeah, this was quite interesting in the chat because at this stage nobody really knew whether the no stop would work. Everybody was thinking that the people, that, especially the fast guys, you know, Iwin, Phil, Brucey, it wasn't really known at this stage whether a no stop would work, so it was interesting. Just having a look further back, so Brucey in 8th, Phil in 9th. So these guys, remember, they were basically 1, 2 and 3. So Brucey was in 3rd, Phil was in 2nd. So Brucey in his pit stops managed to overtake Phil. P1 Rick's got a penalty, so he's going to be slowing down. Surfer Ev, he's pitted, so he'd obviously overtaken me. Well, he got back into the race and had overtaken me earlier. Valtteri though in 1st. So great job, mate. Just a shame whether it was tyres or fuel, I'm not sure, but we'll have a look at what happens there. But yeah, P1 Rob behind him. Not as close as he was. He got me in 3rd, so we're all running kind of a second apart almost. Maybe just under. Lap time though, if you have a look at it. So in the 49s, last one was a 50. So it'll be interesting to see. Looking at Raffo behind me in 4th place. Great recovery obviously after the incident at the start, so did really well to get up there. We've got obviously the Crow just in front. We've got Iwin in 5th now, so he was in 6th, so he's got Iwin and the Crow past Wilson. Windscreen wiper going, not sure it was raining, but Bruce in 8th. Again, Phil in 9th, so we'll see where they end up. These are very, very fast guys, so we'll see where they get to. Gotta love that pink unicorn car. Bruce was saying his kids helped choose the colours and obviously the graphics. I think they've done a wonderful job, and Bruce painted it, so well done, mate. Looks class. 12th place, 13th, so yeah, the pit stop didn't really help RCMBE. Obviously he overtook me earlier on, but with the pit stop it's now put him right dead last, so in 13th place. But yeah, Raffo had pitted, so he's using a little bit of his tyres, but they're certainly in better condition than mine. P1 Rob's tyres look great. Now he's got the inside line, came off that last corner. You can see when we have a look at Valtteri, his tyres, his front left is shot, so probably the reason P1 Rob was able to get that done quite easily. Got it done very early on the straight as well. So braking hard for turn 1, covers the line for turn 2. Valtteri not letting him have it easily though, coming back at him. Not really, with the track the way it is now, easy to go around the outside, but he's right there, look. P1 Rob going defensive for this right-hander. Can Valtteri get the undercut, or is Rob going to stay tight? Rob stays, or he does go a little bit wide. Valtteri, he's coming back at him. Oh, and we've flicked away because there was an overtake coming onto the straight here. So sorry, we've gone back a little bit in time. So you can see here we've got Phil making an inside move for the corner. Does he get it done? Yes, he does. So he's up in the 7th. Bruce now in 8th. So Phil on his recovery drive. So yeah, still Brucey not letting him have it easy. So you can see here Iwin catching Raffo. That gap's come down by over 2 seconds. There's a bit of a gap to myself from Raffo to me, so I've probably got about 2-3 seconds, I think, hopefully. And we've got Valtteri in second, so I need to get on to, you know, there's a good possibility here for me for first, second, or God forbid if I make a mistake, maybe third place. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Phil and Brucey pulling each other. Brucey's got a penalty there. Again, track limits on this track. You put 2 of your tyres over any white line anywhere here, or you take too much of a curb, particularly in the in the infield. That's it. Iwin's now overtaken Raffo. So again, he's got much better tyres. Doesn't need a fuel save, so he's flat out. We're also going to have a look back here. Oh, and I'd take the move on Valtteri. So again, classic turn 1 overtake. But he comes back at me. I get a little nudge off him, so I know he's there. A little bit of lag there. But that's helped me. So now sitting in second place, P1 Rob. So you can see now with my gear changes, I'm revving the nuts off it. Absolutely revving the nuts off it. So I'm kind of in my own mind thinking, I can catch P1 Rob. This might be first place. I can maybe put him under a bit of pressure. He might make a mistake. I might be able to get him an overtake into turn 1, so we'll see. Obviously, during the race, I can't see the state of his tyres as against mine. But there you go. In terms of Iben, he's in the 146's lap time, so it's not going to be too long before he's obviously on the back of me. So we'll have a look. You can see the crow now. So Rob's closing in on Raffo. Again, just on much fresher tyres. So just to let everybody know, this is race 1. We do 2 races on the night time. So first race is the obviously 1 make series, which is the Ferrari, and then in the second one we've got obviously open choice with the car manufacturer. And race 2 was held at the iconic high-speed ring, which everybody loves, maybe. Right, so continuing, so we've got P1 Rob in first, you've got myself in second, we've got Valtteri holding on to third at the moment, but you can see Iwin is right there, right behind, so he's Raffo. Iwin had got Raffo, we've got the Crow, then Phil, then Brucey. So Valtteri in third. Can he hold third place? I think I'm praying for him to be the most defensive driver on earth, because Iwin is going to catch him. It is only a matter of time. You look at that lap time, a 1:53 versus Iwin's 1:47. So 5 seconds on that last lap alone. And you can see here, he's right on him. Just looking back from Valtteri's car. He's going up the inside. We'll just go in car. Not the best place to put your car, really. If that was me, Valtteri, I'd have had him off in the gravel, mate. Now, he switches now to the left-hand side for this infield. I think that's the job done. So Valtteri, though, he doesn't like to let people go. So we'll see if he can hold on. So I went up into third now. So a bit of a recovery drive from him after his pit stop, but definitely the fastest man on track at this moment in time. Behind Valtteri, we've got the Crow, and we've got Raffo. So when you think about it, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, all very close together. From a first and second point of view, I can't really get any closer to P1 Rob. So my tyres are absolutely shot when we have a look at them. So I win. He's going to be hunting me down. Here we go. So, you know, we're not far apart, but when you look at the tyres, that front left is screaming for no more. Now I'm in the 149s. So I'm kind of happy to stay there, but bearing in mind you've got Iwin at 147, so that gap's going to come down very, very quickly. However, we're literally, you know, we all were predicting about 17 laps for this race, so we'll see where that gets to. So Iwin in third, and just stay on board with him for a little bit. Third gear, revving it out. Fourth gear. Fifth. And then he's very, very wide, braking hard into this corner. Second. And then he's back on the power. It wasn't an apex challenge there, that's for sure, but he's still very fast. So we've got the Crow, we've got Valtteri. Unfortunately, he's obviously lost that place to Raffo. Raffo's managed to get past teammates, so you don't want to take your teammate out, both for Team Vodafone. We've got Phil in 7th, Brucey in 8th, we've got Mark in 9th, so Surfer Ev in 10th, RCMB in 11th, and then P1 Rick, I think it was, in 12th, and then Wilson in 13th there. So you can see here from that far away shot, he's getting ever closer. I'm not really closing in on P1 Rob. Yeah, certainly it was a good track to pick for the first race of the season. Looks like Phil has a penalty, so we'll see. That might bring Brucey back into play. Mark at 9th, Surfer Ev. Surfer Ev now pushing, obviously, RCMBE. So we're on lap 17 now, and the timer is at 29:30, so this is going to be the last lap. So last lap, can I hold on to second place? So turn 1, turn 2, nice and clean. I've got far too much fuel left compared to some others, although it's always nice to have some fuel on board, better than running out. So first, second and third, so you can see Iwan now just under the brake, and he's just there. My tyres are shot. Let's see if I can drive defensively. Don't need to at this stage, this corner's alright. I'd imagine certainly the next one he's going to be there or thereabouts, so look how close he is now. Right on my chuff. Yeah, I kind of closed that line off a little bit early, so we're alright here. We'll have to be very brave to overtake in the midfield. I'm going to have to go defensive. I'm going to stay far left and make him go the long way round. So, which he does. I'm braking hard here. Shallow through the corner. He does have a little go up the inside, but you know, he doesn't get his wheels alongside, and then you could, it's a racing incident, but again, it's kind of, I know we're getting right to the end of the race, but I don't think anybody appreciates being nudged off the track. So possibly one for the stewards. I might send that in. So, but Iwan takes second place on the second last corner. We've got P1 Rob, which was excellent, mate. Well done. Iwan in second, me in third, the Crow in fourth. We've got Raffo in fifth, Phil in sixth. We've got Valtteri just holding on to seventh, and Bruce in eighth. And then we've got Mark in ninth, Surfer Ev in 10th. And then RCMBE in 11th, I believe, because P1 Rick and Wilson didn't make it onto the final lap. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. A really, really good race. Race 2 is already published, so if anybody wants to have a look at that. We race every Friday, so we'll see you next week.